Day 4 of the Democratic National Convention is in the books, and Kamala gave her acceptance speech despite not being elected by the people in the primary. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois, coming to a close after Day 4. The event started on Monday, August 19th, and ended yesterday, Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Now, this event was full of misinformation, straight up lies, gaslighting. A lot of different things happened during this convention. There were quite a few speakers. They pretty much put everybody up there. They had a dog catcher from Podunkville, USA, the governor of this random place. It was a little bit of everybody on stage. Now, in the last day, they had Gretchen Whitmer. We'll get to her in a minute. They had Eva Longoria, Kerry Washington. Who else? They had a few people. They had a police officer in his uniform, which is pretty inappropriate to be out there giving political messages while wearing your uniform. Is that even a thing you can do? Is that some kind of ethics violation? I don't really know. But ultimately, this thing has come to an end. And of course, the big speaker here was Kamala Harris because she gave her acceptance speech, despite, as I said in the beginning, despite getting 0 votes in the primary from the people. Now, one thing I got to mention here, Beyoncé was rumored to perform, but it wound up not happening. And it was not just a social media rumor. The Hill reported it, TMZ reported it, but then almost like at the very end of the event last night, Beyonce's team said, oh, no, we were never going to go there. We're never on the schedule. I don't even know where that came from. Now, here's my thing about that. I think they let that rumor be out there to just increase viewership of the DNC from people at home. Because I was looking on social media, people were saying, hey, I was waiting on Beyonce. Where's Beyonce? No Beyonce. The same thing they did with Meg Thee Stallion and Bon Iver or whatever that particular band's name is. You bring on an act to fill up the seats. And in this case, they didn't even bring the act. They just let a rumor persist that an act was going to come that was never going to be there. And it was funny because they were playing a bunch of Beyonce music, but it didn't have her there. That was a direct troll job, in my humble opinion. Now, before I go any further, let's get to a few clips here. First, we're going to get to Gretchen Whitmer and her cringe. Then we're going to keep on rocking and rolling.
I'm Governor Gretchen Whitmer. In Lansing, they call me governor. But in Detroit, they call me Big Gretch.
Big Gretch, okay? And there were signs in the audience that said Big Gretch. If I can find some. Yeah, I think we got a T-shirt down here. You see that at the bottom left-hand corner? Big Gretch. Big cringe. How about that? That's definitely big cringe. But let's keep on going here.
On December 14th, 2012, I walked into Sandy Hook School. I stopped at the office, chatted with my principal, then started my day with my second graders.
Now, I'm not going to play her entire story, but you understand kind of where it's going. This is about mass shootings and whatnot in America. There was a whole big segment on this where a lot of survivors gave their story. Also, they had the former, I think, House rep or senator from Arizona, Gabby Giffords. She was actually shot in her head during a rally in Tucson, Arizona back in 2011. So she had some difficulties moving around and speaking. So that was the thing. Oh, we got to somehow wave a magic wand and get rid of all the guns. Now, these individuals right here are Kamala's family. The young lady in the middle, I think that's her niece. I'm not sure who that is on the left-hand side. But on the right, that is Ella Emhoff. That is Kamala's stepdaughter. And by the way, Ella Emhoff is signed to IMG Models. And she got signed to IMG Models as a real, actual runway paid model. She signed to them in January 21. Now, what happened in January 21? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to raise their hand? Oh, you give up? Well, Kamala became the vice president, and all of a sudden her stepdaughter becomes an IMG model. Funny how that works, but I digress.
Kamala came into my life when I was 14. Famously a very easy time for a teenager. Like a lot of young people, I didn't always understand what I was feeling. But no matter what, Kamala was there for me. She was patient, caring, and always took me seriously. She's never stopped listening to me, and she's not going to stop listening to all of us.
Alrighty, so that is Ella Emhoff, her stepdaughter. As you know, Kamala does not have any children, any biological children that she birthed. Now, here is Adam Kinzinger, a guy that I strongly dislike. I would say H-A-T-E, but I want to be a little bit nice. I want to be a little bit nice today, just a little bit, but I don't like this guy.
I've learned something about my party too, something I couldn't ignore. The Republican Party is no longer conservative. It has switched its allegiance from the principles that gave it purpose to a man whose only purpose is himself.
Now, if you guys don't know, Adam Kinzinger is a Republican. I think he is a House rep. I don't think he's a senator, but he's in government right now as a Republican.
Donald Trump is a weak man pretending to be strong.
Now, this was the theme throughout the night. They spent a lot of time talking about Trump, but next to no time speaking about policy. Okay, Orange Man's bad. We don't like him. He's scary. We're afraid. He wants to ban abortion. All kind of lies that they said throughout this entire thing. But what they didn't say is what they're going to do. Well, they did, but not really. It was, if we could just have like a gauge or a graph of how many times Trump was mentioned versus how many times they mentioned policy, I think we know which one to be more and which one to be less. But let's continue here. All right, Adam Kinzinger is getting him up out of here. This is Kamala's sister, Maya. And they have the same mother and father.
And so as I look out at all of you today and take in this incredible moment, I so wish that Mommy could be here tonight. I can just see her.
Now, I want to say something right quick. I'm not going to play her entire thing, but I want you to look at her, first of all. Some say that she looks more, quote unquote, black than Kamala. I think not. I beg to differ. I think she looks just like her mother from the Indian subcontinent. That's what I think. All right. And something else. Her mother has passed away. I'm not sure when her mother died. R.I.P. to her. But their father, the professor, what's his name? I think his name was Donald Harris. He's still living. He's still living. So where was he at? He was not there. The all black Hillary Clinton pantsuit outfit I didn't like. Oh, before she talks, she reminded me a lot of Hillary Clinton. Some of the same type of speech patterns, the way she dresses, everything kind of reminds me of Hillary, a brown Hillary.
President Joe Biden. When I think about the path that we have traveled together, Joe, I am filled with gratitude. Your record is extraordinary, as history will show, and your character is inspiring. And Doug and I love you and Jill and are forever thankful to you both. To our
So people were saying, and as you may have seen in this caption right here, that Kamala wore black to Biden's eulogy. You know, it's like, all right, Joe, you were so great to us. Thank you for what you did, but get on up out of here. Now I'm the candidate. All right, let's keep on going.
Because I believe everyone has a right to safety, to dignity, and to justice.
Okay, if you believe that, that's fine. Oh, here's something about the border. Miss Borderzar, what is she going to say about the border?
After decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Really? Really? Why is the border wide open then? And if you guys don't know, she was the California Attorney General, the top cop, the prosecutor, locking black men up for weed and little ticky-tack violations. Meanwhile, Bay Area, California is still off the hook when it comes to violence. Let's keep on going.
Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut.
Now, here's the thing about some things that she's promising, like the middle-class tax cut. You see it right here. Here's a caption from Benny. Shout out to Benny. Why not do it now? Exactly. You're in office right now. just walk 10 steps down to the Oval Office and talk to the big guy and be like, hey, man, can we get a middle-class tax cut? This is just an empty promise that'll never happen. The same thing with the student loan debt forgiveness. Okay, they want to tout some student loan debt being forgiven as part of their promise being fulfilled. Meanwhile, these programs that they're trying to take credit for had already existed for many, many years. I think George W., Jr. brought that up. He's the one that implemented that, not the Biden administration. Now let's continue. We got a little bit of cringe here. We got some celebration. And one thing I mentioned, they're all at the same height. Kamala can't be no more than 5'3", 5'2", 5'4". Okay. Like these people all being the same height, like under 5'7", under 5'8". It's not really going to be a thing people are attracted to. It's not going to be appealing. And that may sound like I'm being shallow, but the reality is there's not been one president since Jimmy Carter in the 1970s who's been under 6 foot tall. And Jimmy Carter was 5'10". So a bunch of these 5'4", it ain't gonna work. Call me shallow, call me whatever. It's just I'm looking at data and I'm giving you the information. All right. Now Trump responded to what Kamala was saying during her speech. Let's check it out.
Mr. President, Martha McCallum here. She said that she is promising middle-class tax cuts, and she says that if you are elected, it will cost Americans $3,900 more a year in increased taxes. She's tying all of that to this Project 2025. That's where that number is coming from. What do you say to that?
Well, she knows I have nothing to do with Project 25. They throw it out. A group of people got together. They did a thing. I haven't even seen it. I don't want to see it. I told them specifically, I don't want to see it. People know where I stand. I lower taxes. She's raising taxes. She's going to give a tax increase of 4 to 5 times what people and companies are paying right now.
So you're hearing it straight from my man Trump. It's a longer piece of this, but we got time constraints. But the whole Project 2025 thing, that was part of their attack throughout this entire event, talking about, oh, well, he wants to do this and he wants to do that. And this is the Republicans' radical plan for when they get in office or if they get in office. But it's not even Trump's plan at all. It comes from an independent conservative think tank called the Heritage Foundation. This is not Trump's campaign. This is not Trump's team. This is not a thing that they advised with Trump about. It's not a thing that they ran past him and said, hey, sir, how do you think about this? Nobody said that to Trump. He's just responding to it the same way everybody else is by hearing about it on the news. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everyone who was on the live stream last night. And for you guys who were at all the live streams Monday through Thursday, I appreciate y'all for joining. It was definitely an experience. I'm going to do a lot more of these streams when these kind of events come up. And I'm glad I was able to debunk things in real time. Hopefully, at least one or more of you guys were able to learn something from that experience, because the mainstream media are not interested in teaching. They're interested in indoctrination. And I'm totally 100% against that. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation? The DNC 2024, a lot of the lies that are told about Trump, what Kamala is promising. Oh, we're going to do a tax cut. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to wave a magic wand and get rid of guns and do a mandatory gun buyback. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I would never vote for anybody that was on stage at this event. And this just solidified my point of view. But what it also told me or confirmed to me is that they are liars. They will tell you a lie with a straight face and a smile. And it's up to those of us who are alternative media, conservative media, to debunk all that and give the people the correct information so they can actually make an informed decision rather than an uninformed, ignorant decision. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.